could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. The C's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
People consume your web content. They don't read the thing, okay? So go back to the homepage, Sean. They're just going to look at the site and look here, okay? This is called above the fold. This is profound knowledge you will not get in college. You got to nail this down, okay? This is above the fold. Let's go back to Mark's website. Mark, what's your website there, sir?
NorthwestFarmFresh.com.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going there. And people want to buy local from a family. They want to buy food they can trust. Tell us about the logic we have going on here of what we're trying to convey here.
Convey of our message here.
Yeah, like why have we chosen to put that on the homepage? Let's go back to the homepage, Sean. Homepage. Going back to the homepage. Feeling the flow.
Is this the right website?
Well, we have 2.
Oh, okay.
You go to NorthwestFarmFresh.com.
Okay.
Go there. Okay. NorthwestFarmFresh.com. I want to go there real quick, okay? And then we're going to go to Greg's website. We'll go to Trish's, and then we'll take a break and introduce our next speaker. Okay, go for it. Yep.
Yeah, we're just trying to portray the key points of our business so that pasture-raised meat is from our family and we deliver to you. So just a short, simple message.
And most people, just so we're clear, I want to walk you through how most people think. And I hate to say most people because then it feels like we are just judging most people. But I know, come on, you know most people. You're most people. I'm most people. Are we not? Let me walk you through. I'm a Democrat. Republicans are evil. They are evil. They're judgmental. Everyone's going to hell. That's a Republican, right? And Republicans is like, guns, gold, America.
Dry ice.
Ronald Reagan. We liberate. So there's like, but people kind of want to go into 2 camps. We shouldn't, but we kind of do, don't we not? Because there's like 2, okay? So most people are kind of thinking, so most people, they go to the site and they're like, hey, I want to read the reviews. I want to see some testimonials. Where's the phone number? That's about as deep as it is. And once you accept that fact, so working with literary agencies, I'm telling you, I'm sitting down with the top literary agent in America. He said, let me tell you, if you get a cover with an endorsement by a celebrity, it's going to sell. All you need is an endorsement and a compelling cover. And literally, you could put in the book, he told me this, he said, you could write in the book, I hate you, screw yourself, you're the worst person ever, I can't believe you'd buy this book, rotten hell. And people are like, I love the book, it's just a really good book, I love it. Because people don't read. To quote one of the top pastors, Carlton Pearson, may he rest in peace, when he was a top pastor, he told me, he said, Clay, if you want to hide something from a Christian, put it in the Bible. I was like, you're sick. He's like, I'm telling you, I've been pastor for 30 years. You want to hide it from them, put it in there. They're not going to find that stuff. You know, you can put like the codes of success, which, by the way, are in the book, and the people would never read them because they're in the Bible. So on this end, you're just trying to keep it epidermis, keep it on the surface, keep it shallow, okay? People just want to say hello, keep it shallow, keep it on the top, on this. Don't go super deep. Don't write a metaphor hidden within like a soliloquy and some like, don't put a haiku on your homepage. Okay? Don't put like a joke that you would only get if you're Like the Yahweh joke, that worked for half of you. Some of you were like, I don't know what that was. That was fine. But some of you are like, but anyway, just don't put like a super clever. Are we getting the idea? So now let's pull up Satellite Beach breakfast one more time. Let's do a search for that. So how often are you seeing people, Tricia, that are finding, they say, hey, I found Morning Glory. I found you guys online. How often are you hearing that?
I mean, like from a website?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, mostly it comes from Google.
You're hearing that. Okay, so let's pull up the website if we can there, Sean. Okay, all right. Okay, going to the website, okay. Is there some sort of IP problem we have here? Jackie, are you up there? Can you figure out what's happening? There's some sort of demon that's making it, when he clicks it, it doesn't look right here. Okay, go ahead. But anyway, so that's the website, and you're getting people that find you online?
Yeah.
Do you get people that say, I went to page 412, and I read an article that I disagree with?
Not at all.
But you know who's going to say that? You. Because I know you, because you're an entrepreneur. And you're going to go, these articles are embarrassing. Okay, then write them yourself. I don't want to write them myself. Okay, then have some. That's the trade-off. Are we on the same page? So 100% of the clients I work with, they're like, I don't like the content. It's embarrassing. Okay, then write it yourself. I don't want to write it. Okay, well, my employees don't write it well. Okay, then, you know what I mean? So but you have to have it written, but no one will find you unless you have the most words, but the most words aren't going to be the best words. We're on the same page? Let me tell you another deep, dark secret. A lot of these literary agents will go to a celebrity and they'll go, hey, can we write a book with you? And they go, yeah. So what I'm going to do is we'll write the book, and they go, what do I have to do? Nothing. And they don't even read the book that they wrote anymore, most of them. So like the fact that Eric read his own book and wrote it is very rare. Like it's most of these celebrity books, you know what I'm saying? All these celebrities are like, it's a tell-all book, but someone wrote it for them. So the fact that like you get a guy like Eric that wrote his own book, that's rare. A lot of these people, if it ever says like such and such with such and such, usually the person who's the with wrote the book. Does that make sense? Greg, one more example. Let's do Tulsa Wood Floors. And Greg, are you getting people that are finding you online? Is this happening?
It is happening a lot.
Have you ever had a customer say, I read your article about whatever, and I strongly disagree with it, and thus I'm not using you?
No.
Has anybody other than you read the articles on your page, to your knowledge, and has had any issue with them?
I haven't read them.
Now, you will have an employee that you will hire, and they will want to point out to you that your articles don't make sense, and you have to rebuke them and say, it doesn't matter. We had a guy 2 conferences ago, very passionate man, said, you don't have enough parking. I was like, I know. He says, you don't. Because we had, like, when Eric was here, we had about 700 people here, so it's a little, and he goes, you don't have parking. I know, I'm aware. And he's, what do you mean you're aware? I'm like, I'm acknowledging the statement you made. I'm telling you, I've taken it into my body. I have registered it as true, and I'm saying, I know. And he's like, well, you should have more parking. If you would like to build it, you can, but I kind of want to put as much greenery as possible. And then I encourage people to Uber at that conference. But we only do 4 a year, so I don't want to build a parking lot for you to be happy 4 times a year, you know? So you have to just embrace certain trade-offs. So any questions before we introduce our next speaker about content, coming up top in Google, getting reviews, building your website? Is any questions about that? I want to resolve those. We have real people here that are having real success that can maybe answer that. Any questions? Yes. Yes, there is. Let me tell you how it works. If you put up a thing that says, leave us a review using a QR code, they won't do it. So you have to guide them through the process. So if you put up a thing that says, click this QR code, you're doing that, but it actually doesn't save you a step because it's the same process. So you can do what you want to do, but you're going to have to push people to do it. And Tricia comes from the deep, dark world of actually running a company. And Tricia, if you don't follow up with the team about acquiring reviews, what happens?
They don't do it. They don't do it at all. But go back to his question.
Yeah.
Does Google view it differently?
No, but it does do, gating is a problem. It's called gating or steering, and that is a problem. So there's tools that were created by people that mean well probably. But the way it would work is, Melissa, if you came to the conference today, when you would leave, or Mark, you came to the conference, it would send you an email automatically and a text saying, how was your experience? And if you left a 5-star, then it would send you to Google to leave the review. And if you didn't leave a 5-star, it wouldn't send you to Google. And that's called gating or steering. And that is strictly prohibited from Google. But yet there's companies that will sell it because it removes the conflict of needing to manage people. And that's called, there's many brands that sell that, but it does not work. And if that's, is that helpful as all? Any questions about that? Or Mark, you want to share something about Google reviews, or anybody finding you online, or just any feedback you found? Because you know about SEO. You also know about the whole supply chain of farming.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's critical to have the personal interaction. So we do 2 weeks after the first delivery, I have our office gal call customers, ask how their experience was. We have a script that we follow, and then we're asking for a review then.
Yep.
I also, when we started in December, but in January, have a sales guy. This is a slow season before markets start. He's been calling 12 to 4 every afternoon, Monday through Friday, our entire customer base from people that started with us 9 years ago. And he's getting about 25 reviews a week.
And one thing I wanted to share, too, that I like about seeing you in person, by the way, I love it, is trust is so important between he and I, and between Trisha and I, and Greg and I. And I just encourage you to write this down somewhere in your book. But it's the word shalom. I did not come up with it. It's a Hebrew word. And I'll pick on Mary because I know Mary. Kind of feel like Mary's like my aunt or something. I feel like that's the relationship we've got here. But it's like, you know, how many of you feel like you have kind of someone you know them well enough, they're kind of like your aunt or your uncle? They're not related, but you kind of feel that vibe. That's kind of about Mary. But the thing is on the review thing, I'm telling you this because I want you to do well. But if you don't believe that, then I can't. Are we on the same page? Like, so shalom means a win-win. It means it's a Hebrew word, but it means the way things ought to be. Peace. It's a win-win. It's like I'm just being very clear. If I charge you guys $1,700 a month to coach you, you know, we make a 20% profit margin. So we make $340 per month to work with you. You know, that's how it is. And so that's how it works. You know? So if I have a client that we work with on a scholarship, let's say I'm charging a client $750 to help him out, I'm actually losing about $400, $500, $600 a month, every month until they stop losing. So a lot of my biggest client success stories started out on a 2-year scholarship, and now they're like an 8-year success story. So I have like an emotional investment in that. I mean, one of my clients, a true story, we went out in California and saw him. Just my kids met him. I wanted my kids to meet him. But he makes $1 million a week now, profit, every week. And he wanted to meet my kids and take them out for a dinner. And he was just like, they took him to a restaurant that has like, you know, escargot, and it's like all this expensive bougie stuff. My kids are like, I think I'm getting nauseous. I don't like this food. I'm like, just eat it. It's expensive, okay? But all I'm saying is it's like a shalom. It's a win-win, you know? Like, they're like, Dad, we're staying at the Beverly Hills Hillshire to see our client. This is so crazy, this hotel. It's just, oh, but it's a win-win, okay? And I always tell people it's a relation shift. It's when you move past transactional and you know the person actually gives a crap and they're going to keep showing up. And how many of you have ever been married? Who's married? Is anybody married? Okay. Well, isn't conflict something that you got to have? Isn't that right? But we're such a world of like, well, I don't like them. We disagreed about one thing, so screw off. And all of a sudden people quit talking to each other because they're upset about one thing. So the power of what we do as a coaching program is we meet you every week and we want to make, but it's not like I'm not charging you per hour or per call or per email. Because I used to have a coach I hired in my early 20s and you had to pay per call. So do I want to call this guy? No, because it's per call, per hour, it's like my pool guy. My pool guy, I just want to just put him in the head like I swear. You know, the accountants, it's always, who's ever dealt with an accountant or a lawyer? Per call, per email, per thing. So you try to avoid that. But you can't have a mentor that you're afraid to call or text because you may get a bill. You know, so I just want to make sure we're getting this. But beyond, I'm just telling you how my relationship with my clients, but switching to Mark's business, there's a trust there. People trust that the food that you're providing is from a real family who really wants you to eat well. Talk to me about that, though, because you just said some profound stuff there. You're calling your customers to make sure they're happy. Talk about what happens when you do that.
They're usually shocked, like when we first started doing it, and I was like, I think this is gonna work. And nobody calls people anymore. So like half the time they're just like telling our office guy like, thanks for reaching out. Like nobody's reached out to me in 10 years, like no companies have. So, but I mean, it's part of my DNA too. Is like I sold door to door. So I hate talking on the phone personally, but I like the interaction one-on-one, like in person. So I love like if I'm at a farmer's market or if I'm at a trade show. But it's the same sort of thing on the phone versus like sending out an email or a text. If you have an actual person speaking coherent English, talking to you, it's like a rare thing today. So
Yeah.
I think it makes you stand out just like, and then they know that they're buying from one family. So people enjoy that aspect because everything's been commercialized and especially in the Northwest, like that's a key thing to like local. And so any touch point that you can have, people love it, and then they become more loyal. And I think that's a hard thing in today's world of like customer loyalty. People are willing to jump around. So just doing things that make it feel like a genuine experience, I think goes a long ways.
Now, Trisha, I mean, since we've met, I mean, we've gone from one location to 2 to 3. There's four different businesses going. You're doing it. Can you talk about that just for a second? How you and Super Dave, your husband, and your entire team, how you try to provide. You can't out-provide you're not going to out-chain people. You're not a chain restaurant. You're not corporate America. You're local, family-owned, Satellite Beach, Florida. Can you talk about how you try to make that experience connect with people?
Well, I mean, being in the business, working in our business helps that a lot. They see us there. Dave's there spinning pizzas. Nick's there behind the bar, which is Dave's son, serving drinks, walking around, talking to people. We're there. So that helps. We're also involved in the community. We do like school lunches for people. We go to events. I mean, the thing that we just went through with our building being sold under us brought us into the community a little bit more. We went to the city council meetings and stuff like that. I can't believe how many people like reached out to us and was like, we're so sorry what happened to you. We can't believe this happened to you. We're so happy you're still going to be around. And we were like, I mean, we're just people, it's no big deal, but they were ecstatic. It was crazy.
And if you thought about your week in the restaurant, what percentage of people are like recurring local people that just keep coming back?
Oh, all the time. We literally have a customer has become friends with us because they're there so much, and they've seen our passion, and they know that the food is fresh and good, and they've seen this whole craziness that we're going through, and we're building. They were there when we opened Beaches and Cream, and now opening the other location. They're like, this is amazing. What are you guys doing? They're asking questions and stuff like that.
And Greg, I want to ask you the same question here, and then we'll introduce our next speaker. We're talking about marketing, and if you're not careful, you start to think about people as a demographic and a group, and you start to make a spreadsheet of like, we need to reach more women who are between the ages of 32 and 50. But you want to. They're real people. We got to connect, make a relationship. So, Greg, wood floors. How important is it for you to actually connect, and the customer needs to like and trust you?
I think it's amazing. Can I tell a quick story?
Go for it.
Wednesday, my son, who's pretty much one of the most amazing people on the planet, his face is currently as red as his hair.
There he is.
That's Joe. He went to a job to help replace a window with one of our other people. He asked for a review, got the review. She wouldn't do a video. Okay, we got the review. She wrote us an email voluntarily later that afternoon, and just unbelievable how amazing these guys were, the great job they did. They were polite. They cleaned up the job site. And I wrote back and said, thank you for being the less than 1% of people that would take the time to do that. And she wrote back, we were in a love letter before it was over with. And it cost more than we originally thought to go get a piece of wood to fix this thing. We needed a special window jamb for it. We didn't charge any extra. So is it $80 or that? Which one's worth more?
Got to build that relationship, okay? Now, again, let's hear for Mark. Thank you, Mark, for coming up here. Thank you. Let's hear for Trisha. Let's hear for Greg. Okay, I'm going to bring up Ryan Walters now. Ryan's going to come up here for about 15 minutes. Now, Ryan, how many of you have interviewed people for jobs recently? You've tried to hire people? And how many of you felt like, did I just interview Beavis and Butthead together? Have you ever had that thought? There are great people too. There's great people. But how many of you have like interviewed and you're going, wow, we got a little bit of a problem here? Have you interviewed people? Okay. And Ryan, good to see you, by the way. Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. So I'm gonna have you hop on that mic here. Can you tell everybody what was your last job of note that you were doing? People might know you on the national. What was like the national job? A lot of people say, I think I've seen him on Newsmax or what. What was the last thing you were doing?
I was Oklahoma State Superintendent and the Oklahoma Secretary of Education for the last 5 years. Yep.
All right, and so in Tulsa, we talked about yesterday, in Tulsa, we're spending $23,000 per student, I believe, on education. We're getting a great product. I mean, I wish we would spend more, frankly. But we're spending $23,000 per student on tax dollars on education. How's that going?
Not too great. And folks, you hear that a lot. We need more money in education. It's not about the money going in, it's how it's being spent. And you see that. I'm talking to entrepreneurs right now. Wouldn't you love to have kids that are prepared to go create jobs in the future, create small businesses? That's not what we're seeing out of our school system. And you always hear the left point to money. We need more money. We need more money. Folks, money isn't the answer. The answer is changing education and creating a vision so that each kid and their own individual goals can be achieved. And what we continue to see every step of the way is the teachers' unions fight against that because they get more money off of the top of every dollar that goes into education. And so you've got good teachers that want to teach, you've got families that want better for their kids, and yet you have a system that refuses to change, and that's part of what we're trying to work on.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you two kind of rude questions, and then I'm going to move out of the way and give you some space so you can do what you want to do for about 10 minutes, and I'll come back. So I'm just going to kind of tee up two rude questions, and then we'll kind of, we're all entrepreneurs here, and as a general rule, on behalf of myself, I do not like politicians, okay? So when you say you're from the government, I'm like, our next speaker was heavily involved in the Nazi party. What a great guy. No, I mean, I have a concern about, political people. But I know you, and I know what you do, and I know you're for our kids and for our state. However, a lot of people maybe don't know that. Why should people trust you? Could you point to anything that you've done that was effective as it relates to reforming education?
Yeah, we have the biggest reforms in the country. That's why Texas, Arkansas, Florida are doing our same agenda. In Tulsa Public Schools, we removed the superintendent that had done a terrible job for 6 years. Tulsa saw the largest growth of academic achievement in the last 2 years that they'd seen in 3 decades. We did the same thing in Oklahoma City. We brought school choice so that parents could choose the path for their kids. We were the first state to ban DEI. We were the first state to bring the Bible back to education so that, absolutely. First state to do that. Now Texas is following, Arkansas is following, Florida is following. We set a trend that, guys, you can't understand American history if you don't understand the Judeo-Christian values that undermine or that set up this country. And we see the left undermining that every step of the way. And it's something else that we did, and we had to fight against the unions to do it. We brought merit pay to Oklahoma. I don't know if you guys know that with the teachers. Teachers can make up to 6 figures in Oklahoma classrooms now. We now have over 300 school districts doing that. But the unions fought it for 5 years, and now we've attracted some of the most talented folks from around the country. And again, we've got about 10 other states that are following our lead in that. But these are major reforms that we put in place in Oklahoma.
Final question, and then I'm going to let you just kind of answer this question, and you can go into 10 minutes of whatever you want to talk about. I'll leave so the morale will improve. And then I'll come back. Okay. So, why are you doing it? Because this is the thing. This is the thing. I want you to, again, by show of hands, who's met politicians? Come on. Who's met them? See, I remember I won the Entrepreneur of the Year award in 2007, and I went to the D.C., and I met Coburn, may he rest in peace. Mm-hmm. I like him. Coburn. And by the way, my daughter is best friends with his granddaughter. And she's like, we're in my kitchen, and she goes, my grandfather would love you. And I'm like, who's your grandfather? She goes, Tom Coburn. I'm like, get out of here. Coburn? That way, if you look up Tom Coburn, I'm like, Tom Coburn? Like, this is the legendary Oklahoma elected official who voted no for everything. Sean, are you looking that up? Tom Coburn? You put him on the screen there? Tom Coburn. Sean, you got that?
Dr. No is what they called him, right?
Yeah. Sean,
we're fixing a web demon right now.
Hold on. Look it up. Tom Coburn, though. Tom Coburn. So when I go to D.C. to get my entrepreneur award, and when I get my entrepreneur award, I met Inhofe. And I met Coburn, and this is, remember when the financial collapse happened? Remember this? The Great Recession? Remember that? I'm there at that time, and I'm going, can I ask you, sir, why are you the only person who votes no for everything? And he goes, well, Clay, they put a bill on my desk that's about this thick, legislation, and I'm supposed to sign it before I've read it. And I'm the only person who thinks it's unethical and unrighteous to sign something you haven't read yet. So I will not vote yes for anything I haven't read. I will not do it. And I go, you're the man. Now, and I'm looking around, you would think, remember how crazy the recession was? You would think people would be like urgent. No. People were having a good time. People were spending like a bunch of drunken sailors. They were taking us out to bougie restaurants. And I'm like, why are you the only one who seems to be concerned about the American economy? And he's like, well, you see, I'm a doctor who delivers babies. And so I make money as a doctor that delivers babies. So I don't need this job. And thus, I don't care if people like me. I was voted for, the people of Oklahoma voted for me, and my job is to represent them. And so everybody up here hates me. And if you go down the hall, ask them what they think about me. They hate me. They hate Dr. No. And I'm like, I like you. So he and I hit it off. So I just want to ask you, in a world where very few people read the bills, very few people, I mean, these career politicians, they don't even care. What motivates you to do what you do? And then I'm going to disappear and give you 10 minutes. So what motivates you? And then share whatever's on your heart.
All right, well, first of all, yeah, that is a very insulting thing to call me a politician. So there you go. But guys, Clay's exactly right. What you see in politics is every force out there, special interest, want you to give them money. They want you to push their agenda. And once you're in elected office, you feel all of that pressure. You see the negative ads that rain down. The teachers union spent around $6 million against me. Before I took office, spent about $8 million against me. You saw it all over the news if you're from Oklahoma. It was a consistent push to don't do the things that you were elected to do. And so I think it's very, very powerful that you speak out. I think it's very, very powerful that you are very direct on what you want from your elected officials. I think it's very powerful that you get involved. This is a group right here, again, you guys are the cream of the crop. You guys are looking to ways to improve your business. You're looking for ways to improve the communities around you. It's incredibly powerful. And the message that I wanted to bring to you all today is if our schools don't improve, you guys are kind of successful in a lot of ways in spite of the system. That's what we tell people, successful teachers and successful students. We've got some good teachers. We've got good students. But the system isn't created to benefit them. That's not the way the system works. It's very top-heavy. It's very administrative-heavy. It's very bureaucratic. It's not individualized. And frankly, we've gotten so far from the basics in education, mastering reading, writing, math, and history. Guys, we're very open on this on our organization. We want good American citizens. The only way America continues to be the greatest country in the history of the world is if our kids understand what made it great in the first place. And what has happened so many times in our schools is we've seen an agenda to not only not push kids to love our country, but actually turn kids against our country. And I want to tell you guys, that's a concerted effort. The radical left has gotten engaged with teachers' unions, administrators, different folks from all over the country to create a giant apparatus to undermine the values of the American people. So what we did is we said, well, why are teachers in the teachers union? The teachers union is out today. I don't know if you guys know, today is a day of protest. Teachers unions across the country are shutting down school today. They're very open. They're very proud of it. They shut down Chicago public schools today to have a day of protest against the Trump administration. So kids aren't going to learn today in Chicago because they got to protest President Trump. And by the way, the trainings, we've got an article coming out later today in Fox News about this, was given to kids as young as 3 to join the protest today in Chicago. These are huge, huge organizations with hundreds of millions of dollars. $800 million went to Kamala Harris from the teachers' unions. Hundreds of millions of dollars being dedicated. And you talk to most teachers, they go, hold on a second, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was where the union dues were going. Well, they don't tell the teachers that. They tell them you've got to join us because you've got to have liability insurance. You've got to have these trainings. So what we came along and said, how do we have an impact in education? You've got great teachers out there. They don't have a choice. They don't have an option. They've got money going into a system they don't agree with. So we created an organization. It's called the Teacher Freedom Alliance. And we're very clear. We want teachers to have a choice. You don't have to join the teachers union. We want you to get the best trainings possible and be able to create an education system that is not only good for you, but is good for the kids, is good for the parents, getting back to fundamentally what education should be, which is about these kids, the next generation, and the country itself. What did Benjamin Franklin say? I know I'm talking to a group of people that would remember this. Constitutional Convention. What did you guys do in there? We created a republic if you can keep it. And the only way that we can keep it is if the next generation understands how the country was built and why. What were those values? Why do we have a separation of powers? What were the Federalist Papers? Isn't it amazing, guys? It would be funny if it wasn't so sad, but I was watching, remember when Jay Leno used to do the, what was it, where he'd walk up on the streets and ask somebody, the questions? He once asked young people at a college, name me a Supreme Court justice. One of them said Judge Judy, right? Well, we just had a Pew study a few years ago that 1/3 of Americans couldn't even name all 3 branches of government. They don't even know the branches of government, much less why they were designed in the way that they were, much less the reasoning behind those founding principles in our country. Folks, you don't keep a republic that way. You don't keep a country, you don't keep a civilization if you don't have that understanding. And frankly, you see the way the debate goes so often in our country. Trump's a Nazi, Republicans are evil, all of this nonsense. You can't even have a policy disagreement. You can't even have a discussion with the other side because there's nothing uniting us. Our history should unite us, even if we disagree on things. Why? Why was the country built this way? Why were these things so important to the founders? And by the way, you got a history teacher in front of you, so I might go too far back into history, but the founders understood history. You read them. They studied ancient Greece. They studied ancient Rome. They looked at Europe. They said, what are the lessons we learned from this so we don't repeat those mistakes? Our kids need to understand that. Our kids need to understand where we came from. And that starts with getting the teachers' unions out of our school. Our mission is very simple. We want to destroy the teachers' unions, and we want to create an education system that is meaningful for all of the groups involved, teachers, parents, and kids. That's what we want to do. And so I'm here today, guys. It's the Teacher Freedom Alliance is the name of our organization. I've got to run to another event. We've got a couple of members here from our organization, from our team. We'd love to talk to you guys about it. We'd love for you to share the work that we're doing. We're in all 50 states across the country. We have 14,000 members in just a few months. We're growing very rapidly. We've cost the teachers' unions over $10 million in just a few months of union dues leaving. Yeah, we're very excited about that. Very excited about that. Because, again, those are dollars that aren't going to be used for radical left-wing purposes. What we do is it's very simple. Hey, we're going to help teachers be better. We're going to help respond teachers. You want to know the number one concern of the teachers that we have here? Classroom discipline, classroom management. How many of you guys have heard about classrooms being out of control? How many times we just had a teacher study last week, national study, 70% of teachers said that they're leaving the profession because of the lack of discipline and support from their bosses in the classroom. Our number one training we're offering right now, classroom discipline. And folks, it's non-woke. We don't do the victimology. We don't do that. We do responsibility. Students have to learn responsibility. They're not going to be successful in life if they don't understand that, will they? They're never going to live up to their God-given potential if they don't understand you are in control of where your life goes. And again, I'm speaking to a group of people that are taking their lives, their businesses by the horns. We want our young people to hear that. As a teacher, I saw tremendous turnarounds from kids that heard that and understood that. You saw kids that were very, very troubled, that once you could engage them in a way that helped them understand your life circumstances don't determine your future. That's a huge lesson to learn as a young person. I'm going to say one other thing, listening to Clay up here. The marketing is so powerful. You see what the left has done with the teachers union. If I said teachers union to a lot of people, they'd go, well, I mean, that's just a group of teachers. It's not. It is very, very bureaucratic from the top. These are folks that are pushing this agenda nationally, and teachers don't have a choice. All we're saying is give them a choice. If they want to join, they can join the union. But if they want to join organizations that say we're about America first, we're about instilling these values in the next generation, we're about getting back to education without left-wing indoctrination, we want to provide that opportunity. And we want to provide that ability to move forward. So, folks, it's teacherfreedom.com is our website. If you guys would like to know more, we would love to tell you more about the work we're doing. And again, can't say enough of good things about Clay. Love the work you're doing, brother. Thank you for having me today. I sure appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I'm excited about this left-wing indoctrination stuff you're talking about. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Couple final questions here. If people do want to talk to you, will you stick around a little bit after the break?
Yes, sir.
And again, website, one more time, the website. People are streaming online. I want to make sure we got the website.
Yeah, teacherfreedom.com is the website. Yeah, I love all the folks online. Love for you to come check us out. Check out
Stay
the work
on
we're
right.
doing.
Teacherfreedom.com?
Yes, sir.
Teacherfreedom.com. And is that the best way to contact you?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Go on.
Teacherfreedom.com. One more time. Let's hear for Ryan Walters. Ryan, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. And back into business stuff. What we're going to do is it's 10:38, and I got two things I want to cover, and then we'll take a quick break here. So any questions that you have, I want to make sure that you have those questions answered. That's my goal. But I want to just put this into your brain, and I want to say it in a way that's nice, and you don't have to be really smart, thankfully, to build a super successful company. But you being really, really smart is often the problem.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him, character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
Oh, he is. He is.
Yeah.
And it's for the folks that aren't familiar with you, and probably few and far between, I first came across you, gosh, probably 15 years ago, or maybe even 20.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was, anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems, so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.